So my dear friends, I had a friend in Mitchelstown whose brother was in the army. I don't know what branch of the army. It's not really important for the homily anyway. But he had been stationed abroad on a few occasions. So when he would come home, he would sleep with the bedroom window wide open in the winter, and maybe sleep outside in the summer because he didn't want to get soft. He wants to stay kind of used to the hardship and the difficulty that might await him if he was sent back to Lebanon or wherever it was. So he would sleep, never any heating in his room, turn off all the heating, windows open, and sleep in a sleeping bag, and just get to keep that level of misery, I suppose. I'd keep that level of training up, just to stay used to it, to not get soft, not get comfortable, and then not want to go back, I thought it was just very interesting, like the things that people do for, if you will, secular gains, right? Same with sports, like this ice bath thing after training. I mean, not exactly fun, I imagine. Never done one, no intention. But that kind of thing. These things aren't exactly comfortable, but if they help your recovery, people will do it. So there's a lot of these things that people will do for secular gains. And when it comes to our faith, I wonder, I think it's a good thing to reflect on. It's always good to keep our eyes on whether we're growing spiritually or not, because it's very, very, very easy to plateau, to just get to a stage where I think I'm not doing any harm, so we'll stay here. Or I think I'm doing everything that's been asked of me, and I'm going to mass, not killing people, so yeah, and then we just stay there, with no desire to go deeper. And again, like with anything, when it comes to the Lord, what's so important to keep in mind is that what we're talking about here isn't obedience to the state. The way, like when it comes to the state, we're supposed to pay our taxes, we're supposed to watch our speed limits, we're supposed to, what else are we supposed to do? Not kill people, I suppose, there either. We're supposed to obey the law, obey civil law, okay? Great. But that's not what the church is. It's not just another collection of laws that we're supposed to obey. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. And if we ever get to the stage where this relationship becomes reduced to laws, how miserable a faith that is. Again, I've used this example before, but explain marriage in terms of the law. So I'm not supposed to kill her. Have to stay faithful to her. Better remember her birthday, or they'll be, Gene, I did that once, won't do that again. Valentine's is probably important. And if the milk is very sour in the fridge, I'm supposed to take that out. And don't leave stuff lying around. That's marriage. That's marriage there now, yeah. That's a healthy marriage right there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you reduce marriage to rules and it actually sounds ridiculous. It's absolutely, I just did there. It's ridiculous to reduce marriage to rules. It is exactly the same to reduce our faith in God to rules. The rules are important. Please don't kill people. But it's not just that. It's a relationship. So, the Lord in today's gospel, this is the gospel just following the passages about the raising of Lazarus from the dead. Okay, so it starts off with many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary, that's Mary, sister of Lazarus, and had seen what Jesus did, believed in him. What did he do? He just raised Lazarus from the dead. And some went to tell the Pharisees what he had done, and then a couple of lines later, as we just read, from that day on they were determined to kill him. This is something we reflected on during the week, that at times it's actually not enough for us to see supernatural things. Maybe we just simply do not want to change. So we can see the miracles and we can see the portents and signs and all of these kind of things. Same with the Jews, the Hebrews coming out of Egypt. They're freed from slavery in Egypt, 40 years in the desert. Manna provided for them daily on the ground. The Red Sea parts for them. Pillars of fire, pillars of cloud to protect and guide them, and so on and so forth. All the quail, then when they get bored of the manna, then the birds fall from the sky that they can eat. The Lord provided for them daily. But rather than saying, Lord, you have proven over and over again that you will provide, therefore I trust you, therefore I will do what you say, they long for the flesh pots of Egypt when they were slaves. It must be so heartbreaking for the Lord What more do you want me to do? What more do you want me to do? Why do you look at this relationship with me through the eyes of absolute minimalism? What's the minimum I have to do to observe the faith? What's the minimum I have to do to have a relationship with you? What's the minimum amount of prayer I have to do before it becomes a sin? What's the minimum I have to fast? What's the minimum I have to give? What's the minimum? Like, just focusing on the absolute minimum. It's such a sad way to approach our faith. There was a movie before most of you were born. Some of us grandparents might remember, back in 1988, there was a movie called The Last Temptation of Christ. Horrible movie, don't watch it. Directed by an Italian, American-Italian called Martin Scorsese. Anyway, and it shows that the main actor is William Dafoe. He plays the character of Christ, who is a normal kind of a human who then discovers, it's ages since, I'm not even sure if I saw it. I've seen bits of it in reviews. I'm not even sure if I've seen the whole movie. But he discovers in his late 20s that he's the Son of God. I can do stuff. He discovers he's the Son of God. So then he discovers that all these passages about the Old Testament are about him. And he has this burden then of being the Son of God, and it's terrible for him because he just wants a normal life. And then as the Passion approaches, he just wants a normal life with Mary of Magdala, hence the name of the movie, Last Temptation of Christ. So it's awful because it shows no understanding of the fact that Jesus knew from the beginning exactly what he was doing and knew exactly what was ahead of him. And all of the Old Testament prepares the coming of this particular man. He knew what his role was. He knew what he had to do. So that's why this gospel ends on a kind of a cliffhanger. What do you think? Will he come to the festival or not? And then it leaves a blank page. Do we know? Will he come to the festival or not? Will he come to Palm Sunday or not? He knew exactly what he was going to do. He prophesied 3 times that he would be killed. He knew what he was about. So he asks us, he invites us then into this relationship with him, which is the relationship of a friend, but also the relationship of a disciple. And a disciple is a student, someone who's willing to learn, someone who's willing to grow. As soon as you stop being discipled, and I don't want to grow anymore, I don't want to learn, then you're no longer a disciple. I don't know what you are. You're an appendix. You're there, but I know what you do. I mean, it's kind of useless. I mean, if we're not growing in our faith, what on earth are we doing? That's not a living faith. You're just part of the furniture. We need to be part of a mystical body. We need to be alive and active. Not part of the furniture. So the Lord wants us to be disciples, to be discipled, so to be students who learn, and then to disciple others, but always in this attitude of, I'm willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to change, willing to go deeper, willing to get better, willing to, in all humility, with the help of God, get holier. Not just, I'm willing to go to Mass, I suppose, if I have to. And reduce the whole thing to a minimum. Why on earth would we do that? Why would we do that? So we ask the Lord today, as we approach now the holiest of weeks, as we approach the series of liturgies that will introduce us into the meaning of life and what God has done for us. In the Easter Vigil, and just the whole summary of our faith from creation to redemption and beyond. As we approach this week, let us do so as disciples, as people willing to learn, people willing to grow, people willing not to ask, what's the minimum I have to do, Lord, but what's the maximum I can give you? Amen.